Hey, fellow ballers, it's Mark Gordon here, and it is Friday morning, August 30th. And someone reached out to me through Discord the other day, and they asked me, who am I to be giving advice? After all, there's been many days I haven't gone in, and therefore, my income, or I guess my winning streak, whatever you want to call it, is somewhat limited. So who am I to be sharing advice with all of you? And my answer is very simple. I am not sharing advice. I'm not sharing any advice at all. This journal, one I'm creating, where I post almost every day, is to share with you my journey and my experiences, my successes and my failures, and what I've found works and what doesn't. And for you, hopefully it's something that you can learn from. You can learn from my mistakes and ideally also learn from my successes. And also to understand that the failures that you may be experiencing, you're not the only one. I've gone through so many failures and lost so much on my journey in this thing we call options trading. The stories I could fill, which I will not do today, but that's really it. That is the reason that I do this, because when I first got into this, there was no place to turn to, nobody I could look to really understand what was going on from a different perspective. Every video I came across was filled with somebody talking about how much money I could make and how successful they were and how they were making thousands of dollars a day doing virtually nothing. And that's not the case. I think either they're lying or they know something that the rest of the world doesn't. So I wanted to just be honest and straight with all of you with regards to my own experiences. So having said that, my experience in a nutshell with this whole thing is that, number one, it is potentially very, very positive, and it has been overall very positive for me for the last while, in large part because of Magic 8 Ball, so thank you for that. But also, it is an extremely soul-draining experience, especially if you get in the day before or even early that day doing a zero DTE. To me, it is emotionally, physically, and mentally draining to know that you could potentially make, let's say, $1,000 a day, but lose $3,000 a day. And this is not, I think, a good or healthy or productive way to go through life. Also, doing this doesn't contribute anything, and that might sound a little altruistic, but throughout my career, which I'll share with you in another video, I've always done things that have helped people or helped businesses or kind of helped the way people communicate with each other to try ideally make the world a better place. And with options, there's none of that. There is no communication. There is no benefit to the world. Nothing. It is simply hedging your bets to win for yourself, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is pretty empty after a while. Even with all your successes, you feel good. You're like, yeah, I made, this much money today. But after a while, you're like, well, what's next? What can I do to make the world a better place? Or what can I do to give back? So that's part of the reason, by the way, I'm creating these videos. It is my way of giving back in some form. And I hope you get something out of it. So with that, I am not offering any advice, but I'd be more than happy to answer your questions to the best of my ability. I've always answered them very honestly, those who've asked, and to take you on my journey. And hopefully it will inspire you and maybe help you along the way. Take care.